Let's start there on the supply chain because you did seem to navigate it in a way perhaps that some of your competitors were unable to. You even said on the call, we were able to work through the supply constraints to address the demand that came up. Give me a little more meat on that bone. What were you able to work through to make sure you were able to meet all the demand?
All right. Well, good to see you all. Very happy to be here. Very happy day for Qualcomm. But look, supply, Dave, it worked exactly as we planned. If you'll remember, a couple of earnings calls ago, we had said scale helps. We addressed the issue early. We had a number of design of our products in multi-sourcing. We even multi-source leading node technology. We announced like 3 new products that are a result of multi-sourcing. We put capacity plans in place, and it's working exactly as we planned. We said that we'll see material supply improvements towards the end of the calendar year, and it's kind of reflected in our guide.
Right. So you're going to continue to navigate it well. I mean, your CFO on the call did say you still have constraints across the board, and you have to figure out how the demand would have played out if there was supply across the industry. And I'm just curious, does that mean that there's even more potential demand as we move towards into next year?
Yes, and look, it's the reality is if we look at where we are like today, we had great Q4 quarter, but we're still short. As we're going to see supplies substantially improving at the end of the calendar year, as well as we get into 2022. But there's more demand than supply, and I think that's Akash has outlined in the call. As we go into Q1, we could grow more in especially some of the new revenue streams and the new growth areas outside handsets. But we have an incredible opportunity with Android, and we have been prioritizing the supply we have where we get the most return.
Yeah, well, those new opportunities you mentioned, and obviously I noted this earlier in our conversation about this. 38% of revenue is coming from non-handset related sources. How much and where do you feel comfortable with that going? Is it going to be above that? Could it ever be 50-50?
I think it's while we're not making that prediction right now, I think we're going to provide a lot of details about that at the New York Analyst Day, November 16th. But here's what I wanted to highlight. By all counts, our diversification strategy is working, and it's working because at the end of the day, the market is moving to a roadmap. We're winning with technology, and if 38%, doesn't indicate that the diversification is really working, I don't know what it does. But the important thing to answer your question is, we have now many great vectors of growth in addition to handsets. If you remember the last earnings call, not this one, the one before, we said that the growth business are growing at 1.6 times the handset business, and the handset business is on fire because we have the first inning of 5G, we have the incredible Android opportunity. And now we created a number of growth vectors for the company for markets that are growing much faster than handsets. We have the conversions of phones and PCs. We have invested early. We've been talking for years about virtual reality, augmented reality. Facebook changed their company name because of the success of Oculus. We're the company, behind all of those devices, whether it's Facebook devices, Microsoft HoloLens. That's a great vector of growth for us. And we have IoT. And if you believe in the cloud economy, you believe in the Qualcomm, IoT connecting all of those devices to the cloud. And that could represent much larger percent of revenues as we mature those markets.
Now, Cristiano, Jim, really thrilled that you did the Veoneer deal, which is going to be for assisted drive. Nuvia is also a great deal. But what I'm interested in, and I think people should know this, is that you really have a hammerlock on pretty much everybody in cell. You have Apple, it's mentioned on the call, so I'll mention it. But you also have Android. Can you tell people how big Android is? Because I think people somehow think that Apple's much bigger than Android.
Yeah, Android is doing great. And what happened is because of our technology roadmap, the Snapdragon, especially our 800 series, became synonymous with premium flagship devices. You see this on the Galaxy GS21, you see on the Fold, you see on the Flip. New form factors are coming up. I think Samsung's been very successful with the bigger screens, the flip phone. We're seeing new companies like Xiaomi. All of a sudden, Xiaomi is now number 2 OEM in the world, number 1 in Europe. Android is growing. I think the 5G has the potential to continue to change the landscape in the mobile market. And we saw with the, what happened in the shift across OEMs, an incredible opportunity for us to grow faster than the market. The market in mobile grows in single digits. We're growing much faster. We're growing share within the Android premium and high tier. And, it's important to highlight, when we sell a Snapdragon mobile platform, 800, there's a lot more silicon content than selling a modem. So we just one single Snapdragon 800 device replace a lot of devices with modem. We have more silicon content, more revenue and earnings, and we're very happy with the mobile landscape right now.